Okay, so let's start. So in the last class we are doing non-traditional machining process. Okay, and we have seen abrasive jet machining, then we have seen water jet machining, then we have seen abrasive water jet machining. Okay, and today we will do ultrasonic machining process, that is USM, the short form. Okay, so as we know that the classification of non-traditional machining is depends on the nature of energy which is used for material removal process. Okay, so according to that we have classified non-traditional machinings uh, in 4 to 5 different process. First is the mechanical process, second is the electrochemical process, third is the chemical process, fourth is the thermal process. Okay, so ultrasonic machining comes under your mechanical process. Okay, until now we have done like AGM, that is abrasive jet machining, which also comes under the mechanical process. Okay. And also like water jet machining and abrasive water jet machining. So all this comes under your mechanical process. Okay. So now we will do ultrasonic machining. So as we know that ultrasonic machining is one of the non-traditional machining process. Okay. Now the working principle of this process reassemble with conventional metal cutting, as in this process abrasive contained in a slurry are driven at very high velocity against the workpiece by a tool vibrating at low amplitude and high frequency. So as the name indicates, ultrasonic machining means it it, it will contain amplitude and frequency. So these two are the important parameters of the ultrasonic machining. Okay. So in this case, we are using very low amplitude but very high frequency. So ultrasonic means the frequency which is more than 20,000 hertz. Okay. So the frequency which is more than 20,000 hertz is known as your ultrasonic frequency. So at very high frequency, we are uh, using this method for metal removal. Okay, and also we are using the abrasive particle. Okay, now in this case the amplitude is kept in the order of 0.07 millimeter, means very low amplitude, and the frequency is maintained nearly about 20,000 hertz. Okay, and the workpiece material is removed in the form of very small chips. Okay, and generally the abrasive particle is used for the removal of the metal in the form of very small chip, and this abrasive particle vibrates. Okay, that is why the name is given as ultrasonic machining, and this uh, abrasive particle vibrates with very high frequency. Okay. And in this case, the abrasive particle used is your aluminum oxide, that is Al2, okay, O3, then silicon carbide, okay, then boron carbide, or diamond dust. So this is your artificial diamond. Okay, so diamond dust is also used as my abrasive particle, which is generally used to cut very hard or brittle material. Okay, and the working principle of ultrasonic machining is same as that of the conventional machining process. Okay, so in this case also the material is removed by continuous abrasive action of hard particles vibrating in the slurry. Slurry is a mixture of water and abrasive particle in a proper ratio. Okay? And in this case, abrasive slurry acts as a multi-point cutting tool and does the similar action as done by the cutting edge. So as you know that all the cutting tool has one or more than one sharp cutting edge, and this cutting edge is generally responsible for the material removal process. Okay. So in this case also, in case of the abrasive particle, so actually the abrasive particle is irregular in shape, means it do not have any shape, but it has more than one sharp edges. Okay, and this edge acts as the cutting edge. Okay, and as it has more than one edge, or as it has more than one cutting edge, that is why it is known as your multi-point cutting tool. Okay, and remember that these sharp edges get blunt or it can be broken, okay, during the machining actions. Okay, that is why we can't use abrasive particle again and again. Okay, if the cutting ability of the abrasive get lost, then we have to change the abrasive particle. And this is the systematic diagram of ultrasonic machining. Okay, so for ultrasonic machining, first power supply is needed, and this power supply go to the electromagnet transducer. Okay, so the function of the transducer is to convert electrical energy to mechanical vibrations. Okay, then from the electromagnetic transducer, okay, uh, there is one connecting body. Okay, and with this and with the help of the connecting body, there is tool. Okay, so this is attached with the connecting body. Okay, so when the electromagnetic transducer vibrates, so this vibration is transferred to the connecting body, and from connecting body the vibration is transferred to the tool. Okay, and this is the abrasive slurry. Okay, so in this case, the abrasive particle and the water is used, and see that there is the proper gap in between the tool and the workpiece, and in this gap there is the abrasive slurry, and in this abrasive there is the abrasive particle. Okay, so the tool also transfer the vibration to the abrasive particle, and abrasive particle also start vibrating. Okay, so due to this vibration, okay, the cutting of the workpiece takes place. So this is your systematic process of USL. So any doubt in this diagram? And remember that this tool should be the mirror image, okay, of what we have to make in the workpiece. Suppose if you want to make a hole of 10 millimeter diameter, okay, so you have to use the tool of 10 millimeter diameter. Okay, that means it should be the mirror image. And in this diagram, this is the tool motions. Okay, so the tool will move from uh, bottom to top or from top to the bottom. Okay, and this is the tool holder, because as we are doing the machining, okay, so this tool also get defected by the action of the abrasive particle. Okay, so after after the use, the tool has also to be replaced. Now the process parameters. So first process parameter is my abrasive slurry. Okay, so this consists of dust of very hard abrasive particle, and it is filled in the machining zone. Okay, and the abrasive slurry can be replaced with recycled with the help of pump. Okay, so in this diagram see that this is the tank. Okay, and here the abrasive slurry is stored, and my main aim is to provide the abrasive slurry in between the tool and the workpiece. So this is done with the help of pump. So this abrasive slurry can be recycled with the help of pump. And second is the workpiece. Okay. So the workpiece of hard and brittle material can be machined by USL. Remember that only hard and brittle material, because in this case, if you are using the ductile material, so it is very difficult to machine ductile material. because some abrasive particles will be embedded in the uh, ductile workpiece. Okay, that is why generally in case of USM, only the hard and brittle material is used for machining actions. Okay. And this workpiece is clamped or fixed on the fixture. Okay. Now the third parameter is your cutting tool. Okay. So tool of USM does not do the cutting directly, but it vibrates with small amplitude and high frequency. So it is suitable to name the tool as vibrating tool rather than the cutting tool. So in case of USM, the tool is not responsible for the cutting actions. It is only responsible for uh, uh, for vibrates with very small amplitude and with very high frequency. Okay, so this is only the function of tool. Okay, so in this case, only the abrasive particle is responsible for the cutting action. Okay, so in this case, we can say that this abrasive particle acts as my cutting tool, not the uh, this tool, okay, which is connected to the tool holder. And the tool is made of relatively soft material and used to vibrate abrasive slurry to cut the workpiece material. So this is how the cutting action is done with the help of tools and the abrasive. Next parameters is my ultrasonic oscillators. Okay. So this operates using very high frequency electric current which passes through the ultrasonic oscillator and ultrasonic transducer. So the function of the transducer is to convert the electric energy into the mechanical energy. Okay, and also it develops vibrations into the tool. Okay, so this is the function of the ultrasonic oscillators. Okay. And the last is your feedback. And last is your feedback mechanism. Okay. So tool is feed to the machining zone of the workpiece, and the tool is shaped as same of the cavity to be produced in the workpiece. Just now I have said that the tool should be the mirror image of the cavity to be produced in the workpiece, and the tool is fed to the machining area, and the feed rate is maintained equal to the rate of enlargement of the cavity to be produced. And this feedback mechanism can be your automatic or it can be your semi-automatic. So as we know that we have to feed the tool in the in a particular directions by maintaining certain gap in between the tool and the workpiece. So the tool movement is generally controlled with the help of the feed mechanism. Okay. Now see, this is the diagram. Okay. So in this case, so this is the tool and this is the abrasive slurry. Okay. And this is the mixture of your abrasive particle with water. Okay. And there is also force, okay, which is applied on the tool. Okay. And we have to maintain the gap in between the tool and the workpiece. And in this gap, there is the abrasive particle with water. Okay. And the uh, vibration frequency should be in the range between 19 to 25 kilohertz, and the amplitude should be in between 10 to 50 micrometer. And this tool should be the mirror image of the cavity to be produced. Okay. So when the tool vibrates, so uh, due to this vibration is transferred to the abrasive particle also. So when the abrasive particle vibrates, so with the help of the sharp edges of the abrasive particle, the material is removed from the workpiece. So, so this is the working of the ultrasonic machine. Okay. Now, different process parameters of the ultrasonic machining, that is the amplitude of the vibrations. Okay, so the amplitude of vibrations is denoted by A, and it should be your 10 to 70 micrometer. Then the frequency of vibrations denoted by F, small f, and it should be in between 15 to 30 kilohertz, but commonly 20 kilohertz is used. And the power supply should be in between 200 to 400 watts. And the feed force, okay, actually the force depends on related to tool dimension. If the dimension of the tool is high, then the feed force should be less. And if the dimension is very small, so in that case we can increase the feed force. Okay. Then the abrasive size. So the abrasive size should be in between 15 micrometer to 150 micrometers. And different abrasive material which can be used in this process is your aluminum oxide, silicon carbide, boron carbide, boron silicarbide, and diamond. Okay. So in this case, generally silicon carbide is mostly used. Okay. And in very hard and brittle material, boron carbide is used. Okay. To cut very hard and brittle material. And diamond means it is your artificial diamond. Now the effect of parameters on MRR. Okay. So this is the graph between MRR and feed force. Okay. So see that when the amplitude is increased, okay, the MRR also increase, okay, up to certain extent, but after that it decreases. Okay. And this is the graph between MRR and the amplitude. So when the amplitude is increased, the MRR also increase. And see that this is the frequency of vibrations, small f, so small f denotes your frequency of vibrations, and this capital F, so this capital F denotes your field force. Okay. So now see in the third graph, that is the MRR by frequency of vibrations, that is F. So it is uh, when the frequency is increased, the MRR also increase. Okay. And in this graph, MRR versus the abrasive particle. Okay, so very hard abrasive particle also responsible for the increase of MRR. Okay, so in this case, the two abrasive particles is taken. One is the aluminum oxide and second is the boron carbide. So you can see that the MRR rate of boron carbide is high as compared to aluminum oxide. Now the advantage of ultrasonic machining. So the advantage, the first advantage is that the workpiece is free from residual stress because there is no generation of the heat. Okay, so there is no chance of formation of residual stress. Okay, second is the extremely hard and brittle material can be machined. Okay, which is very difficult by conventional machining process. Okay. Third is the very good dimensional accuracy and surface finish can be obtained because in this case the MRR is very low, so the material is removed in the form of very small tiny particle called chip. Okay. So with very low MRR, it obtains very good dimensional accuracy as well as surface finish. Okay. Next is the operation cost is low, and last is this process is environmental friendly as it is noiseless and no chemical and heating is used. Okay. Now there is also certain disadvantage of this process, that is MRR is very low and it cannot be used for large machining cavities. Okay. Second is the initial setup cost and the cost of tool is very high. Okay, and there is frequent tool replacement is required as tool wear take place in these operations. So at uh, so in this case, there is the tool wear because the tool is always in contact with the abrasive particle. So due to this, tool wear takes place, and it need to be uh, frequent replacement of the tool is required. Okay. Next is the not recommended for the soft and ductile material due to their ductility. So this process is only suitable for hard and brittle materials, and this process is not at all suitable for the ductile materials. And in this case, the power consumption is also quite high because this electrical power is converted into the mechanical vibration with the help of transducer. So in this case, the power consumption is also very high, and slurry may have to be replaced frequently. Okay? Because in this case, abrasive particle is used, and this abrasive get blunt after doing certain machining operations, and it has to be replaced frequently. And last is the application of this process. Okay? So this process is generally applied for the machining of hard and brittle materials like carbides, glass, ceramic, precious stone, titanium, etc. Okay. Second is that it is used for making tool, punch and die. And last is the worthless material is normally removed in the form of very fine chips, and generated surface quality is extremely good. So it is widely used for several machining operations like turning, grinding, milling, etc. So this completes your ultrasonic machining process. Okay, so now do you have any doubt? Then you can ask.